Love music, love talk, love Wycombe Sound.
Monday Movies on Wycombe Sound 106.6 FM.
Right, so action.
Well, hello and welcome to Monday Movies.
Heidi hi.
Heidi hi. What are you doing?
I
was
have
trying to do a square.
Oh, I see.
high hopes for this week's show.
Do you?
I think we will be gremlin
Better.
free.
For most of it.
Most of it.
I'm
How
thinking for all of it.
How are we doing for How are we doing in week 97 of lockdown is what I was going with.
Very well.
I've lost the plot, as you can tell.
I killed two of my neighbours. I've turned to cannibalism, but to be honest, that's just to be expected at this stage of the game. Yeah. I mean, they were old people, so it's fine.
Right, okay.
Yeah, apart from that, it's all good.
Good.
Yeah.
Good.
You know that police helicopter you heard earlier?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't for you.
Toby?
Yeah, it's
How's
good.
life?
Yeah, it's okay.
You've been doing quite a lot. I've seen you've been doing some writing maybe or recording.
Yeah, I'm trying to write some new songs at the moment, and trying to do a few covers and stuff. So yeah, it's good.
Covers.
Covers.
Anyone in
of
particular you're thinking of covering?
Bed covers.
Life is
No,
a
well-
roller coaster. A bit of Ronan Keating, maybe. Yeah.
It's weird though because I need to find how to get like a song without the vocals in, or a karaoke version even. I don't know where to get them from. So.
The music labels. So good luck with that.
Yeah.
Normally
So,
you
yeah.
have to make it yourself.
So yeah.
What's going up on the show?
We've got the UK DVD top 10. We have film news and we have some reviews.
Nice.
Yeah, just the usual kind
Just
of
the normal stuff.
melange of
Yeah.
stuff.
Melange.
Yeah, a melange of stuff. It's going to be very exciting. Can we say hello to some people? Because Mark, very disappointed there was no podcast last week.
Oh, sorry, Mark.
Oh, sorry, Mark.
Sorry,
He actually
Mark.
rang me to ask where it was.
Did he? Sorry,
Yeah.
Mark.
I
Sorry,
said,
Mark.
trust me, you didn't want to hear last week's show.
He recorded a bit for the podcast, but that was terrible as well.
Yeah, it was a nightmare.
Oh,
So,
terrible.
but this one's going to be good. So, Mark, Shona, Kerry,
Yeah,
who else?
Mark.
Dave and
Dave,
Michelle.
Damn Michelle.
Sorry, David and
Dave,
Michelle.
Come on.
David.
God, yeah, get it right. Get it right.
And you'll be able to watch it as well. Both bits together.
Yes. Can I say because we've got Pippa and Tracy have given us some reviews of stuff they've been binging, and we'll do that in the after party, as I like to call it.
Okay, good.
Have a little after party.
Shall we go on the show?
Okay, let's all put some clothes on and start this little
People
sucker.
can see us.
I know. That's why we've got to put this bit they can see us.
Yes. Did you not
Oh, I
watch
didn't
2
realise
weeks
they could
ago?
still. I didn't realise they could still see us during this
Did you
bit.
not watch 2 weeks ago?
No.
Thanks.
No, it's very exciting. All right then. Well, let's go then.
Okay, off you go, Toby.
Let's start the show.
Cool. May the 4th be with you. This is Monday Movies here on Wycombe Sound. I'm Duncan Strip, joined as usual by Luke Davis and Toby Stubbs. For Star Wars fans that haven't seen these two before, they're on the live stream. Luke is the baby Yoda lookalike without the personality. Toby is just a cross between Will Champion and a Wookiee. Hi.
Hello.
Hi, Will Champion.
Yeah. It's a drumming reference.
Yeah, from Coldplay. Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
There.
Get me with my up-to-date
Look at you.
references.
There you
How
go.
are we?
Good,
Yeah.
thank you. How are you?
Oh, good.
Yeah, okay. How is it going in lockdown week 652? I believe it is
Oh,
at the
yeah,
moment.
it's thrilling.
Are we we're still all good?
Well, I tried to put the kettle in the fridge earlier, so yeah, fine.
Were you trying to make an iced tea?
Hey.
Yeah, I know. I've already made that joke once already.
Yeah, you have, yeah.
But this is your 7th week, or is it your 8th week?
8th week.
of
What
being
was-
locked indoors?
Is it everyone's normal 7th week?
It's my 4th. It's my 5th. Tell a lie.
I don't know. It's all merged
Then
into
you've
one.
lost
if
track
I'm
of time.
completely
Okay.
honest, yeah.
And what about Toby? How is it over in Gerrard's Cross?
It's probably lovely.
Yeah, it's okay. It's quite sunny at the moment, so yeah, it's not
And
too
you're-
bad.
You're coping with lockdown?
Yeah, it's okay. I think as I said to you guys earlier, I think I've got kind of used to it now. I think at the beginning it was weird and very different, but I think it's like Groundhog Day every day. So
yeah. Talking of weird and very different, if we can just pause to talk about something we saw on the internet this week, which was a little video of you and a half-naked man. Would you like to explain what was happening there?
Well, no, it's just a really good friend of mine. He's doing stand-up comedy, and he's a very funny guy. He rang me out of the blue and just said, "Look, I know you're at home. Are you doing anything?" I said no. So he said, "Look, I've got this sketch. It's just a bit of it's a bit of fun, and we'll put it on Twitter." And basically we're just pretending to be on a business Zoom call. And then he asked me how to turn off the video, and he thinks he's done it, and then he gets up. I won't say anything else. But if you head over to my Twitter, you can watch that.
Very good. Is there no end to your talents?
Are you bored?
Sorry, what? Just
everyone's
yeah. No, it's a bit of fun, and it's obviously relatable because it's a Zoom call that people are doing. Yeah. So.
And if he's a stand-up comedian, or if that's what he does, maybe he'll be able to give me and Luke some pointers when when things go back to normal and we do our stand-up comedy routine for what's the worst that can happen. Good God, no.
No.
Oh, okay.
Actually, I might prefer to do it in London rather than locally.
Because no one will know you.
Because I'd rather do it in a...
I'm definitely coming wherever you guys go.
No, that's fine. That's fine. You can come. But I would hate to sort of do it in Wycombe with a load of people that I don't know, but that I could bump into in the street.
Right.
I'd rather do it go to Reading or something.
Yeah.
Wow, your jokes were terrible.
Yeah, exactly. So, I think I want to do it further afield.
We're live on Facebook and YouTube, so hello if you're watching.
This is very exciting.
We've already had a comment.
Oh, what's the comment?
Nick Keir has said, "Loving the backdrop there, Duncan."
This is Iceland. I took the picture myself last year.
Well done, you.
Very nice.
Beautiful, isn't it?
Duncan is the only one where the interactive backgrounds actually work.
Yeah, because I live in a void.
You do.
So everything just shows up beautifully. We are live on Facebook tonight. You can get involved if you want to go to our Facebook page. It's facebook.com/Wixo Monday Movies. You can email mondaymovies@wicombesound.org.uk, or you can message us via WhatsApp on 01494 449900. On this week's show, we've got the Home Entertainment Top 10. We'll look at the film news, which will include the fight breaking out between Universal Studios and cinema chains, and
what we've been watching,
where we will take a look at Gangs of London, Hollywood, Black Mirror, and The Mandalorian.
Very busy show as always.
As usual, yeah. It's not quite as usual because obviously it's a bit more freeform. Because things, life has taken on a strange turn. Life isn't normal anymore. So why should the show be normal?
Life is a roller coaster.
Life is a roller coaster.
Massive tune.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Really? I wouldn't have
Ronan
thought
Keating.
Yes,
I wouldn't have thought Ronan. No, I can imagine you liking it, Luke, because I've listened to Drive Time and I know how middle of the road you like to be. Toby, I'm very surprised that you like Ronan Keating.
When I was very young, I got 10 Years of Hits by Ronan Keating on CD for Christmas.
You had 10 years of hits?
Well,
how young were you?
Wow. How short was that CD?
I think it was 11 tracks, but no,
really?
Are you not a fan, Duncan?
He's got some bangers. Yeah, you sound a bit salty about him.
Yeah.
No, it's not that I'm not a fan. I'm just thinking, I just wouldn't have thought Toby would be a fan.
I like a bit of everything. So.
Okay, yeah, I've heard that, but we're talking about music at the moment. Okay, good, excellent. Well, there we go. You learn something new every day. Toby is a fan of Ronan Keating.
Yeah.
You like Simply Red as well?
I don't really listen to him enough. But
okay.
No, okay.
Okay. Well, there you go. A little insight into Toby's life.
We've all learned something today.
Yes, we have. Shall we take a look at the home entertainment charts?
Shall we?
Normally, we would obviously do the cinema top 10, but the cinemas aren't open and not likely to be open before Christmas?
Yeah.
Possibly.
Do we think James Bond will be out in cinemas this year?
Well, before that, at the end of July, Christopher Nolan's Tenet is sticking to its release date. And Christopher Nolan's at the end of July. Christopher Nolan said he is determined to do all he can to make sure that it opens on time. Right. So Christopher Nolan is going to cure coronavirus single-handedly. just so that his film can
Film it
come
out.
out. But yeah, so that's due out at the end of July, and they're sticking to that.
I don't think so.
I think it's doubtful.
Yeah.
But
Well, as we heard earlier on,
hopefully,
Penfest has been cancelled today,
Yeah.
so I don't think cinemas are going to be open.
no.
by-
I mean,
by
hopefully
July.
James Bond will be able to come out in November, but
Yeah.
who knows?
Unless you watch the whole movie with a mask on.
Yes. Well,
Yeah.
that could be one of the.
And
I mean,
and you
there
sit
are
one
likely
seat
to.
apart as well.
Yeah, there are likely to be restrictions when you get when it goes back, and I would imagine masks and social distancing. You know, you won't be able to have a full cinema full of people.
No.
I don't think,
Who
because
knows?
even 1 seat apart isn't enough because you need 2 meters. So that's kind of you need at least 2 or 3 seats between you.
Yeah.
So who knows? I mean, Cameron McIntosh was on the radio yesterday saying that he doesn't think that theatres in London will reopen until the new year at least.
Wow.
Okay.
So yeah.
Well, there we go.
Right. Well,
But then with no tourists, who's going to be going to watch the theatre anyway?
My other half.
Yeah, well, we can come to that later because that's one of her 2 great loves. Is theatre. But if we have time at the end of the show, let's talk about the other great love in your love's life, shall
Yeah,
we?
let's
Because
do
it's
that.
fascinating. Let's take a look at the home entertainment chart, shall we?
This week's number 10, Jumanji.
You've seen it.
It's a
we've
great.
all seen it.
We've all seen it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Why don't you tell us about it? I spoke about it last week, Duncan, or Toby, either of you.
So this is the remake.
Yes.
Starring The Rock, came out a few years ago. Everyone thought it was going to be terrible because everyone's quite fond of the Robin Williams original.
Yeah.
And it turned out to be very, very funny, very clever. And instead of the game coming into the real world, the characters go into the game. And it works brilliantly.
It's very good. It's
agree.
Very, very good.
It's funny. There's some serious moments in it. There's moments where I, nearly cried. It's got everything. It's a roller coaster.
It's a great
Life is a
family
roller
film.
coaster.
Yeah.
It's a great family film, definitely. So if you haven't seen it as a family, just watch it. It's great.
There's
is.
something for everybody.
Excellent. Next.
This week's number 9, Le Mans 66.
She's doing really well, and so it should. It's the story of the rivalry between Ferrari and Ford in 1966 as they both took part in the Le Mans 24-hour race. It's brilliantly filmed, really well acted. It's funny, it's exciting, and you don't need to have any interest in cars or racing to find it interesting.
Like you. You have no interest in
I've
any
got
of those things.
no interest in it at all, but I found it fascinating. And I suppose it helped that I had no idea about this rivalry. There are probably people who know all about the true life story and are probably nitpick and say this didn't happen and that didn't happen. But I didn't know anything about it, so I found it fascinating.
This week's number 8, IP Man 4.
Ip Man 4. So
What?
this is the 4 Ip Man
Never heard
4.
of it.
It's a martial arts from the Far East. I think they used to star Donnie Chen. I'm not sure.
Okay.
But this is the 4th one, which is doing really well. Not seen any of them. Not my bag.
But then neither is Le Mans 66.
No, but I've seen enough martial arts films to know they're not my bag.
Right, okay, fair enough.
You know what I mean?
Fair enough.
They are what they are. They're much of a muchness.
Okay. This week's number 7, Joker. Toby.
This was my favourite film of last year. It was...
Really? You should have told us about it.
It's a really, really great film, and it's by one of my favourite directors who's Todd Phillips, who can show his diversity because he's done The Hangover and Due Date, so he's done a lot of comedy, and this is more on the serious side. But I think it covers a lot of relevant topics. The cinematography is great, the colours are great, the storyline's great, the acting's incredible, and I just came out of the cinema feeling very weird. It played on my mind for a long time, and I think that just shows you how powerful the film was. So absolutely amazing.
Have they brought Joker out on premium VOD? Or was it just on?
No, it's not premium VOD because it had a cinema release ages ago.
No,
so it's
but
just
I mean, is it
normal.
out anywhere on streaming?
Oh, not streaming. No,
Not
you
yet,
haven't.
No.
No. You got a while to wait before it hits streaming.
I know. I
But,
just thought 'cause it was quite a big film. They might bring it out early, but no.
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 Not while it's made. No, they can't because to go on a streaming service, contracts are signed well in advance. So before it goes on Netflix and Amazon, there will be a set date based on the theatrical release date. So
Look at you with all knowledge.
kind of name of stuff.
You do kind of know your stuff.
You know what I mean?
This week's number 6, Knives Out. Duncan.
I like Joker as well, by the way, in case you're interested. Knives Out
Not really.
is really good. It's Ryan Johnson's film that he made after The Last Jedi. It's an old-fashioned Agatha Christie-style thriller with an all-star cast set in an old country house. The owner of the house is killed, and all of his family are suspects because they were all there on the night that he died. Strangely, I watched a film on Netflix last night called Dangerous Lies. Which
I saw that. It's like number 2 trending in the UK.
Yeah,
I think, on Netflix.
It's very similar. It's an old man living in a big old house who dies, but there's only two other people in the house, his housekeeper and the gardener. And they're suspects in his murder because they left the house in his will. Don't bother watching it. It's terrible.
Oh.
I number 2 on their Netflix chart. I don't know how they work that out.
Is the picture, is the kind of the picture for it a handful of pills or something?
No, it's just a big woman's face, I think.
I think I'm getting confused then with the wrong title.
Possibly,
Apologies.
yes.
Apologies.
That's all right,
Toby. Don't worry.
But anyway,
Have a quick
Dangerous
look.
Lies. It's a Netflix film that came out. I think it came out on Friday. Don't bother. It's not very good. Knives Out. Rent it now. It's fantastic.
This week's number 5, Spies in Disguise.
None of us have seen this. This is the new Sony Blue Sky animation. Will Smith and Tom Holland in a spy thriller. Animated spy thriller.
Has it got good reviews?
It did got good.
Did it?
It
Good or
did
bad?
get good reviews, actually. Yes, it did.
This week's number 4, Frozen 2, Into the Unknown.
Let it go. It's not as good as the first one. I don't care what all those people who stormed the studio when we reviewed it to tell me that I was wrong. It's not as good as the first one.
Well,
it's still okay.
Look, you can keep saying that, but it's out on Disney Plus on the 16th of July. That might be wrong. You know.
Oh, it's out on Disney Plus soon.
It's, I think, out on Disney Plus soon. I'm sure it is July that it comes out in.
Okay.
Yeah. I might be wrong, but, you know.
I doubt it. Anyway, it's perfectly fine. It's just not as good as the first one.
You're the only person that I've heard that say that.
Oh, just let it go, Luke, and move
there
on.
we go. This week's number 3, Jumanji 2.
Toby.
So this is a follow-on from the first Jumanji, obviously, and overall, I thought it wasn't as funny as the first one, but
Are you
still.
sure?
No, the first one had more jokes in it, but again, it still has the jokes. It still is emotional in some parts, and it's a great roller coaster. There you go, another reference.
Life is a roller coaster.
Life is a roller coaster.
Today's show is brought to you by Ronan Keating.
But again, as a second film, you know, it's always hard to match the first one. But I think they had a great go at it, and it's a lot of fun, and it's a great film, and I highly recommend both of them. So.
Yes, I agree. I think the second one is really good. Not as good as the first one, but still really good. And the end of the film kind of sets up number 3, which looks like it's going to be a remake of the original because the animals from the game start to appear in the real world. So I think the third one will be like the Robin Williams one.
With all the normal characters?
What normal characters?
Sorry, the characters are in the first 2, sorry. Or is that a spoiler for 2 that we can't talk about?
All the characters in the first one are in the second one with additional characters.
But I meant in the third one.
There are certain characters that won't be in the third one, no.
We've had a comment on Facebook.
Yeah.
That says from Jonathan saying Duncan.
Oh, if Primark, if you're interested, if that's what you're going to ask.
No.
Okay.
Duncan, your audition for the role of Captain Birdseye is next week. And Nick has said, I'd agree with the verdict of Frozen 2. Nick, don't agree with him.
Thank you, Nick. I've always said Nick is my favourite presenter on Wycombe Sound by far.
Yeah. They don't agree.
It's true. We were sitting in the garden having a glass of wine on
he did say
Saturday.
that.
Nick's programme was on and it was fantastic. We thoroughly enjoyed
Tuesdays
that.
at 10. But Nick, don't agree with him because we have to suffer. This week's number 2, The Gentleman.
All right, how you doing? Punch.
It's
That's
even
what it
better
is.
because we can see you doing it.
But you can see me doing it last time, because the last time I did it was in a studio.
Yeah, but not everyone can enjoy it. Only us.
Okay.
Everyone can enjoy.
This is Guy Ritchie's return to the all right, gangster London thing, and it's just not very good. It's not funny. It's not clever. The script is really weak. Some of the characterizations are really bad. The cast are having fun. Matthew McConaughey, Hugh Grant, Charlie Hunnam, they're all having a blast. But to be honest, it's not.
She really liked it then.
I really disliked it immensely. I really did. It's just horrible. And funnily enough, we'll talk about something very similar without the laughs in what we've been watching.
Very nice.
And so that is that's number 10 to number 2, and we'll find out what's number 1 in just a second. Back to Monday Movies here on Wycombe Sound 106.6 FM. We're also live streaming on Facebook. And if you were watching in the break there, you will see us having a small game of charades where me and Toby have discovered Luke doesn't know how to play charades.
I forgot to play charades.
Yeah.
I was
He
watching
did a film
else.
with one word. The answer, The Hunger Games. So
No.
it's just, let's not go into it. You were wrong. You don't know how to play charades. Okay, we'll finish off the top 10 the UK Home Entertainment Chart. What's number 1, Luke?
This week's number 1 is Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker.
Now, it's number 1 because it was available to rent and to buy on all streaming platforms. But as of today, it is available for free if you've subscribed to Disney Plus.
Yes.
Now then, have our opinions changed in the last 7 days?
No, because I need to watch it.
I need to watch
It's
it again,
only
and
come
I
out
don't
today.
have Disney Plus.
I am going to watch it again because my other half wants to watch it.
Yeah.
So we are going to stream that sometime this week. I still think not as good as... In fact, I don't think it's as good as The Force Awakens or The Last Jedi.
I think we came to the conclusion last week, but probably no one heard it, that the spin-off films, so Solo and Rogue One, are better than the trilogy.
Yes.
Claim to fame, I worked on it, so that's probably why I'm a bit biased.
On which one?
Rise of Skywalker.
But are you actually in it, or were you cut from it?
No, I did. I was helping with the set dressing.
Were you the Wookiee stunt double?
No. I was putting on
The
moss
Ritz?
and plants and everything in the backgrounds.
Oh, okay.
For the jungle scenes, yeah.
Oh,
Very
excellent.
nice.
Mm.
So
But
they didn't film that in a jungle?
Sorry?
They didn't film that in a jungle?
No.
Ah.
Well,
3 years of film and
they did.
TV, everybody.
They did, but it was getting certain plants in certain areas, and yeah. There's
Sorry,
a lot
do you know-
that goes into it.
What, to making a film, is there? We would never have known that. Sorry, I forgot my background hadn't been updated.
Yeah, well done.
There we go. That's better. We got a
Yeah.
little Star Wars background there.
Kind
That's
of not
good.
doesn't work on stream, but keep going with it. It's fine.
Oh, does it not?
No, there's too much of the space blackness on it. But it's
Just-
fine. Keep it on there. Raise
Never mind.
there.
Okay. Well, we're not going to be on it for much longer.
No.
So yeah, it's available now to stream for free on Disney Plus.
Well,
I'm looking
but-
forward to seeing it again.
But to sum it up, but yes, it's a bit cheesy. Yes, it's what the fans want, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. But my opinion is it's definitely better than the Last Jedi. I know you two are different.
Me and Luke have agreed that you're wrong.
But then
No, that's fine.
that might change when I watch it.
I bet you it won't. I bet you watching it on the small screen, Last Jedi looks even better and Rise of the Skywalker looks even worse.
I mean, I can't actually remember the Rise of the Last Jedi.
Rise of the Last
I can't
Jedi?
even remember really the last. Oh, actually, no, I can because that's the one with the scene. That's what we've been saying about the Rise of Skywalker. There's no big scene that we all remember. Where in the Rise of the Last Jedi.
The Rise of the Last Jedi.
yeah,
You're getting them all confused, aren't you?
There's that scene where the spaceships collide and everyone's like, "Whoa!"
Yes.
So yeah.
Anyway, it's available now to stream for free, or you can download it on all the normal streaming platforms. Now, something else that's out today, and another one, I think. Actually, you said your favourite film of this year. I think actually, Toby.
Yes.
1917.
Incredible film.
Where's that
It's
available?
available to. Sorry,
Where's that available to rent?
it's available to buy, not to
right,
rent
okay.
yet. And it's not. I don't think it's premium VOD. It's $9.99, so not the 15.
Oh, bargain.
But it is
Bargain.
available. To buy and keep for $9.99. So that's not bad.
It's not bad at all.
Well,
I get that.
Obviously, a lot of films got pushed back, and obviously cinemas are closed this year. But I mean, as it stands, this is looking to be my favorite film of the year for 2020.
Might end up being mine because nothing else might be
When
released.
did this come out?
Right.
Was it the end of
It
last
came
year?
January?
Yeah,
January?
first week in January.
Wow.
Yeah, which
But
seems
it's-
like ages
It does.
away.
I thought you were going to say about 6 months ago, but
No,
But it's,
just 3 months ago.
It's such an incredible film, and I think I know the whole film's not one shot, but it's made as if it's edited to look like one shot, which is an amazing achievement. But I think some films are taking leaps out of this 1917's book, as in when I watched Extraction, which is the new Netflix film with Chris Hemsworth, there was about a 12-minute scene in the first half, which is one shot, which is very impressive as well. But I wonder if we'll see a lot more of these one-shot scenes, at least, parts of films.
I mean, it's not a new thing because in the Matrix, a lot of that is in one shot, isn't it?
True. But I think they might. Well, it might come back then. It might be used more now.
I think what the difference is, it's always been used as a gimmick.
Yes, yeah.
It's kind of a gimmick in Extraction. Atomic Blonde has the same gimmick as one long scene, whereas in 1917, the one shot aids the plot because you're with these two people for the whole time, so you can't cut back to what happened in the past or what's happening in the future. And I think that aided the story. So the one shot conceit acted as part of the plot itself, I think. Whereas a lot of the one shot things is done as a gimmick to show off.
Do you think actually no, you've just answered that, but I'm going to ask it anyway.
Okay.
So the question is, do you think if it wasn't in one shot, if you think, this is,
do me and Toby think if this film was filmed like a normal war film, would it have been as good?
Yes, that's what I meant. No,
it would have been just another war film, I think.
Yeah,
it wouldn't have been as powerful. I think
No.
It really does. You are, as Duncan said, you are literally trapped with these characters, and I think that builds the tension and makes the film so much more effective.
Yeah.
But it's annoying really because I think I saw this on the cinema, and I think it's a great cinema film. You need to watch it on a big screen and with a surround sound and everything. So I'm not sure on the TV how it would look.
Yeah,
and
I'll be
sound.
interested to see how it transfers to a smaller screen.
Exactly.
I still think it's going to be very impressive. And I think if you haven't seen it on the big screen and you watch it on TV for the first time, you'll be as impressed.
I'll find out when I get it.
If you've seen it on the cinema and then you watch it on the small screen, you might think it doesn't work quite as well. But I think for people watching it for the first time, I think it's going to be just as impressive.
But it is definitely worth the money.
Yes, it is. It's brilliant.
All I can
definitely worth the money.
$9.99.
All I can see is now as Captain Birdseye. It's all I can see now.
Captain Birdseye,
Yeah.
Do you know who I see myself as now? I just watched the last ever episode of Homeland.
Right, yeah.
I don't know if you've seen Homeland.
I've seen the first season or two, but I haven't seen the last episode. So.
I'm basically Saul Berenson now.
Right.
That's who I see myself as.
Okay.
Mandy Patinkin in. So you thought I was going to go for somebody attractive, but no, somebody even older than me. But it's not going to stay. It is coming off.
I mean, you say this every week, and it hasn't gone yet.
Once this is all over, this is coming off. Don't worry.
Rob has said Uncle Albert.
Oh God, yeah. Well, if it gets any longer, it will be Uncle Albert. Yeah, that's true.
That would be impressive.
That makes you Rodney and Toby Del Boy.
That doesn't really work, but yeah, okay.
No, it doesn't really.
No.
Anyways, that's 1917. It's available to buy on all the normal digital platforms now. Something else that comes out this week.
Onward.
It's coming out a little bit early. This is the Pixar film that came out just before lockdown. I think it was a couple of weeks before lockdown, so its box office wasn't that great and the reviews weren't brilliant, but I really liked it. I think it's a really clever, really nice film that made me cry.
Do you think it didn't get a good review because it's not a normal Disney Pixar film?
Well, I think we said at the time, the reason is, I think, all the Pixar films have got storylines that you can sum up in one sentence.
Yeah.
So Toy Story, toys come to life when adults go out of the room. Ratatouille,
it's a rat.
A rat is running a restaurant in Paris.
Yeah.
So basically every Pixar film you can describe in one sentence. Onwards you can't.
No.
You have to go through this whole plot about how it's a magical world, but now technology has caught up, so people don't use magic. And this guy's father has died, and he's left a spell so that they can bring him back, but they only bring half of him back, and they have to go on a quest to find the rest of it with his brother, and they bond. So it's a really convoluted kind of plot.
Sum up, though.
Would you say? Sorry, no, go on.
No, go on.
I was just going to say about what was that film? The Disney film that came out about a year ago, 2 years ago. Mexican.
Coco.
Coco. Would you say you could sum that up in a sentence?
Yes. Mexican boy goes to the other side. How do you say it when they go to the other side?
What I was going to say is like maybe they've taken a thing out of Coco's book, as in like they've made a bit more.
No, it's still rather overly complicated to describe, but I really liked it. But also, as I said, for the first half, it doesn't feel like a Pixar film. It feels like a DreamWorks film. And then it kicks in at the midway point and it becomes more Pixar.
But would you say Coco and Onward are both complex?
I thought Coco was very different for them because it wasn't all, hey, toys are coming alive. It was, it's about death.
Yeah. That's what I mean.
Well, this is about death as well.
Yeah.
Maybe they're just going to do everything about death.
Yeah, they've given up with happy stories now. It's all about death. Yeah. That's what they go.
And the funny thing is, someone wrote on Twitter, and I love this. So in the film, they only bring his bottom half back, so it's just his trousers, and then they have to go traveling to find this creature to finish the spell to bring the rest of him. And because they're brothers, someone on Twitter said, "Why didn't they call it the Brotherhood of the Traveling Pants?"
That's great. Yes,
which is a very good gag. Yeah,
I like that.
I mean, I would have said it was mine, but someone would have said, "Oh, you saw that on Twitter." So I decided to own up. So that is Onward. It is out now.
A question for you, sir.
Yes.
Tell me what you think about me.
Because Star Wars: The Rise of Last Jedi Skywalker Awakens, that's out slightly earlier than it would have been on Disney Plus.
Yes.
Do you think they'll bring Onwards out earlier?
I don't know. I think they'll probably wait and decide see how well it sells. So we had this discussion off air. It's very strange that Disney now have their own streaming platform, and yet they're still putting the films out like Frozen 2, Skywalker, Onwards. They're still putting it out on all the other platforms first.
Well, Frozen 2 is a weird one because it's out in America already on Disney Plus.
Yeah, but I think they released it on DVD first.
Right. Okay.
So it's like Disney are trying to get 2 bites of the cherry. They want to release it on all the other streaming platforms and DVD to rake in a load of money that way. So that's annoying for parents because once Frozen 2 comes out, your little kids want it straight away. And to get it straight away, they're going to have to buy the DVD or stream it on Sky or Amazon. Whereas they know that eventually they're paying £6 a month for Disney Plus. That's the reason they got Disney Plus, so their kids could watch Disney product. So I'd imagine for parents, it's quite annoying trying to say to your kids, no, you've got to wait 2 months.
July the 17th.
Until it comes out on Disney Plus. But I don't know. I don't know whether that will change. I don't know if this is something they're doing just while we're on lockdown. Not sure.
I think it will change in the end. I think everything will go straight to Disney Plus or Amazon Prime or Netflix, and I think the sale of DVDs will go down because why are you going to want to buy 2 copies of it if you've already got...
the thing is, as we said, all the original programming for Amazon and Netflix doesn't get released anywhere else first and get charged for. It goes straight to the platform that's made it. So,
I think once more companies, so like HBO have got getting their own streaming thing. Universal, which we'll come to in a minute, are going to have their own streaming site. I think when everyone has got one, then I think that's when we'll see DVDs go, because there'll be no point. It'll be like, well, why am I buying a DVD when in a couple of months' time it will be on Universal on demand?
But then again, there are a lot of people who want to keep the DVD. So in its first week on release, Rise of Skywalker sold 250,000 physical copies.
Yeah. Well, it's like Endgame.
and then that's in a time when people can't go out to buy physical copies, and all of HMV stores are shut. So, in a normal time, that would probably be nearer 400,000 copies.
I mean, Endgame's DVD first week sale was terrible, and it was like the biggest, film of the.
I don't think it was terrible.
I know it wasn't terrible, but not as good.
It was still in the hundreds of thousands.
Yeah, but not what you would expect if it were. You would imagine everyone would just want to go out and buy it.
Yes.
That's all I have to say on the matter.
Okay, thank you.
Toby, this is the point where you say that I was right about Endgame doing better than Infinity War.
That was
moving
true.
on. We haven't got time.
Okay. Yeah.
Let's never look back. Always look forward. So that's the new films out on digital this week. Now we're going to review what we've been watching, but we're running out of time in this segment, so we'll do a little bit of film news.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Hang on.
Thank you very much. The Oscars have changed their rules. I'm sorry, I'm not doing these in order either, because this will be the shorter one. Because Oscar rules state that a film to compete has to have played in a cinema in Los Angeles for a certain amount of time. Obviously, a lot of films aren't going to get a theatrical release anymore. They're going to go straight to streaming platforms. So the Academy of Motion Pictures, Arts and Sciences has tweaked its Oscar eligibility rules in the wake of the pandemic. During a meeting last Tuesday, the Board of Governors approved a temporary hold on the requirement that a film needs a 7-day theatrical run in the commercial theatre in Los Angeles. Instead, films will be allowed to be released digitally without playing in theatres. However, that doesn't mean any movie premiering on a streaming service is eligible for Oscar. To be considered, the streamed film must have already had a planned theatrical release. Right. And the film must also be made available on the Academy Screening Room member-only streaming site within 60 days. So basically, you used to have to have a theatrical release in Los Angeles. That's not possible now. So anything that's streamed can compete for an Oscar, but they have to prove to the Academy that they were going to give that a theatrical release.
I imagine, and someone's phone just went off. I don't know what the rules.
So unprofessional.
I don't know what the rules are for the BAFTAs, but I would imagine they'll do the same because
it's something very similar.
There's so many, if any, are going to be out in cinemas. So they have to change these rules.
Yeah, they've got to change the rules, otherwise nothing will be up for an award. I mean, talking of awards, I think I might run round the block 4 times tomorrow because I could then be in with a shout for winning Sports Personality of the Year because there is no sports taking place, so true. I need to do very little to be considered.
Duncan for Sports Personality of the Year.
Exactly. I think this is the one year we could be in with a shout of doing that. One other piece of news from America: cinemas are reopening in Texas. With Texas allowed to reopen some non-essential businesses as of May the 1st, so that was Friday, some exhibitors are battening the hatches to prepare for moviegoers, while others continue to wait out the storm. According to Variety, EVO Entertainment in Texas plans to open 2 locations on Monday, that's today, employing airport security-style check-ins. The CEO has said guests will be ferried through a cordoned area in the front door, asked whether anyone in their household has flu symptoms in the last 14 days, and finally be subjected to an infrared temperature screening. Wow. The theatre will turn away anyone with a temperature of more than 100.4 degrees.
So what happens if the film's just started and you just get there?
I think you still have to go through all the checks.
So you'll be late.
No, but that's what I'm saying. So you'll probably miss.
Well, don't be late. Yes. But I think
don't be late.
I think it's slightly different in America. I think we haven't got the kind of protests going on where people insisting that they have their roots dyed and they want to go to the cinema because it's their First Amendment right. Yeah. So I think
America has sort of been a bit quicker. From what I've seen from the news, whereas we've only just had the peak. I just think it's too early. In cinemas, a bit like pubs and clubs and everything else, there's so many people in a cinema. What's the average seating for a cinema screen?
A couple of hundred.
I mean,
and
just asking for trouble.
And if you've got a couple of people coughing like me, that will clear the room very quickly. So I think it's too early. But obviously, it's strange. It's not like this country where the government tells us what to do and that covers the whole country. No. In America, they're doing it state by state, and even within states, they're doing it in different sections. And as we said last week, I think somebody on Twitter said that's like having a peeing section in a swimming pool.
Yeah.
It doesn't work because you may pee in one section, but that will spread to others.
Yeah.
So, there we go. Yeah. But yeah, don't do it. Too soon.
We've had a comment
Oh,
about
God. Really?
about DVDs and streaming sites.
Oh, yeah.
Amy said, I like DVDs because if I cancel my subscription, then at least I still have the DVD of the film.
Yes,
it's
exactly.
a permanent copy. If the streaming site goes down or whatever, you won't have the film. But if you have a DVD, then you do.
Yeah.
Very good point.
Because I didn't realise until I met with Sky for my other proper job that
You have a proper job?
Yeah, when you download all these films, the digital copies of the films on Sky Store, if you leave Sky,
Yeah.
even though you've paid £10 for each title, you don't keep them.
That's what I like about
Sky keep them, and then you can have them back if you subscribe to them again.
That's what I like about that. Your jumper's having a nightmare on stream. It's gone blue.
Is it?
That's what I like about Virgin Media because you can say you either want the copy of it digitally or you can have a DVD and the digital version of it.
Oh no, Sky do that as well.
Okay.
Sky did that first, and Virgin copied them. So you can either buy digital copy only, digital copy plus DVD, or Blu-ray.
Okay.
So
I didn't know.
yeah. Although during the lockdown, I think both of them have stopped the DVD copies because they don't want people sending them out.
1917 out the window. Then. Oh, I can still watch it on the TV though. No, silly me.
Well, yeah, yes, you can still watch it on the TV. You fool.
What a fool.
That's it. We'll have some more film news and what we've been watching coming right up. Welcome back to Monday Movies. It's Duncan, Luke, and Toby here with you, joined as ever now by Mr. Colin Besley.
Hooray!
Hey, good evening. I like being introduced as ever now. That's quite nice.
As ever now.
As ever now, Colin.
It's nice to have a professional on occasionally. So
thank you very much. It's nice.
Your role in this little. Of course, we can't see you. We can see each other, but we can't see you.
Oh, okay. It's probably for the best.
Well, you haven't seen the other two.
I'm sure standards are being highly maintained.
Not
really,
at all.
No, right.
Not really.
There's an awful lot of facial hair everywhere.
There is. All three of us. Toby, you need
All
some
three of
glasses
us.
and we'll be all matching.
Yeah.
I look like Captain Birdseye. Toby looks like a Mexican.
No, he looks like Joe Wicks.
Thank you.
Sorry, Toby looks like Joe Wicks. Luke looks like a Mexican. I look like Captain Birdseye.
Yeah.
All on a massive pirate ship.
Yes.
Yeah. Or all together, we're a little bit ZZ Top.
Yeah.
Oh,
Probably.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Me more than the
Nice.
others,
Yeah.
I think. Yeah.
because one of them
Colin,
famously
what-
didn't have a beard, did they? That was Frank Beard. He didn't
Yeah,
have a beard.
and his name was Beard,
That's
Yeah.
right.
wasn't it? Yeah. Look, we know our stuff.
Look at you.
Colin, what's me and Colin just gonna have a chat now about stuff.
Yeah.
Colin, what is on Chatsworth at 8 tonight?
Well, don't what's the word? Fall over. But we actually have a live guest on this evening. I'm very excited.
Oh.
Wow.
Oh.
I know. Breaking boundaries here. Patrick Ash, who's
I have told you for many weeks to stop having the dead ones on.
yes, run out of those. So we're chatting to Patrick Ash, who's a locally based magician and storyteller.
How are you doing, magician? How are you doing magic on air?
You have to wait and find out.
Oh, okay.
Just
Can't
like
reveal
that.
the secrets. Yeah, very
Just
good.
like that.
Just like that.
You should do a comedy show. Don't you?
Oh, I know,
Stop
Colin. If
telling
only
him
you'd
that.
have me on as a guest, I could show off my comedy chops.
That sounds like something you'd out of tea. Yes, we'll be chatting to him, and then later on, you'll be hearing how I got on chatting to Jane Corrie, who's the chief executive and artistic director at Northern Farm, and they've got some brand new comedy launching their autumn season, which sounds a long way off, but it's definitely something to look forward to.
Lovely. Thank you, Colin.
Thank
Colin
you.
will be here with Chatsworth after the news at 8 o'clock. Thank you.
Thank
Thank you,
you,
everyone.
Colin.
Thank you.
Colin.
Thank you.
Colin.
Can I just let you know,
Oh,
Thank you.
Colin.
Thank you very much.
Colin? I just let you
You've been a
know,
great crowd. Thank you.
Luke was the only one not clapping there.
I was trying to
Aw.
find the clapping.
Just so
yeah,
you know,
look, you can't
who
see me clapping.
Just so you know who your real friends are.
Yeah.
Thank you. I'll be listening.
Thank you, Colin.
Thank you.
Okay, should we do what we've been watching,
do it.
I think.
or as we like to call it?
What we've been watching.
Thank you very much. Let's start with Luke Davis.
I have been watching, as have you,
Hmm.
The Mandalorian.
I have finished The Mandalorian.
I have finished The Mandalorian.
Thoughts?
I think for Star Wars' first go at live action TV program, I think it was very good. I thought it was very reasonable. No, that's not what I was going for. I think it's very believable that it was all in the Star Wars universe, and they go to Mos Eisley, which obviously is in the first film, or it's in the first trilogy anyway. I can't remember. Tatooine. It's in the first one, I think. It's where Luke is. So yes, first one.
Oh, Tatooine. So I didn't
Tatooine,
recognise the first place.
Mos Eisley. It's like the.
That sounds like somewhere just outside Liverpool.
It might be. Who knows? The story was a bit hit and miss. It was some of it I was a bit like, well, how has this got anything to do with last week or the finishing bit? But I thought, it was all very believable that it was the Star Wars universe. I think for their first attempt, it was very good, and I'm sure they will learn as they go on, as they did with the animated series. I would like to say as with the films as well, but Duncan?
I thought it looked nice.
Oh, only
I
nice.
was very. I thought it looked really good.
Yeah.
I was very appreciative that they were short episodes, not hour-long episodes. I think 30 to 40 minutes is a much better length of episode.
And also on the thing about looking nice with a budget that isn't a film budget as well.
Yes, no, it looked really good.
Yeah.
My main complaint is what on earth was the point of it? Because at the end of the 8th episode, you end up back exactly where you were at the end of the first episode, and so you're kind of thinking, what was the point of those 6 episodes in between? Because they didn't progress the plot one iota. And it reminded me of a very interesting article that you can get online about Raiders of the Lost Ark. And we watched Raiders of the Lost Ark again a couple of weeks ago, and it's very true. Nothing that Indiana Jones does in Raiders of the Lost Ark has any effect on the plot, because the Nazis end up with the Ark in exactly the place that they would have done if Indiana Jones had gone nowhere near them.
Yeah.
And I kind of felt that about this. I thought it looked good. The script was quite good. I liked the villain towards the end, although it's very disconcerting when you see Gus Fring from Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul turn up as the main villain. You kind of think he's got a drugs empire on one of the moons or something. But I was just like, it kind of wasted 6 episodes doing just traveling to different little worlds, which had nothing to do with the story.
No, remind me, because there's the girl and the man that you meet in the first couple of. They don't go with him at the end.
No, he goes off on his own.
Him and Yoda that isn't Yoda.
Baby Yoda, whatever Yoda is. Yeah.
So it was a bit like, well, what was the point?
The other thing that was odd, and I'm not well versed in Star Wars lore, so I don't know. I thought Yoda was a very famous character not in the films, in the world of Star Wars. I thought Yoda was this kind of, Dalai Lama kind of famous person. And then nobody seems to recognize this baby Yoda. They're just thinking, what a strange looking creature.
His race, who have never been. Yoda's the only one we've ever seen on screen, and I don't even think we've had the actual name of the race be said. I think Yoda is famous to certain circles.
Okay. All right. Like I said, I don't know much about the lore.
No.
I just thought he was a famous character. But I just thought, yes, it looks good. The acting's good. The action is good. Special effects were good. What exactly was the point of it? That was my only...
I don't know if it was them sort of testing the waters to see if Star Wars TV programs that isn't animated and not really for kids, would it work? And I think it does. I think they just need to sort of get a better story that sort of has an arc across the whole...
A plot would have been very nice.
Yeah.
I would have killed for a plot.
You need to go and get Baby Yoda. We'll just go to some other places for a little while, find this lady, and then there's an ending.
Yes, because we never find out why this Baby Yoda is so important and why everybody wants him and why people want him dead. We're not told that. We're just told that he's important. So yeah. Anyway, it's worth watching, I suppose, if you like Star Wars. I mean, if you've got Disney Plus, you might as well, because there's very little original content on there, so you might as well watch it.
If you have seen The Mandalorian already, they have got. I think it's out today, but I didn't see it earlier. They've got a sort of a making of The Mandalorian.
It's an 8-part making of.
Yeah. And it's very interesting because you learn about the tech, because we mentioned this, I think, on the first Monday No Movies that we did on Facebook, that they didn't use green screens or blue screens. It was all screen, like all using LEDs and stuff. So when they're on a planet, actually they're not. They're in a studio with screens in front of them.
When they're on a planet, they're actually not. There's 3 years of film and TV, everybody, coming into play there. When they're on a planet in a TV series, they're actually not. Very good. What would we do without you, Luke? Anyway, that is The Mandalorian Season 1, 8 episodes, all available to stream right now on Disney+.
Season 2 is out in
soon.
October, I think.
Yeah, quite soon. And Season 3 has been greenlit.
We've had a comment from Mark who said there's not a lot of plot.
Thank you, Mark.
He agrees. Yeah.
Exactly. A lot of people agreeing with me tonight. I'm liking this.
Yeah,
liking
can everyone
it a lot.
stop it, please?
Yeah,
no,
please,
I like
let's
it.
not get his ego to go up.
No. Any more than it already
Mr.
is.
Stubbs, what have you been watching?
To be honest, I've been quite bad. I haven't watched loads of stuff this week, but I've been watching Black Mirror, and one episode in particular that I finished yesterday was I can't remember what it's called, but it's the first episode of season 4, and it's the Star Trekky one. I don't know if you remember this, Duncan.
The USS Callister.
That's the one. And
Brilliant.
Brilliant. It's funny because at the beginning, the main character, I can't remember the actor's name, but he's in this gaming company and he's really high up. He's kind of like one of the partners in it, and everyone just doesn't treat him very well at all. And you feel quite sorry for him. And then as the episode goes on, you find out what he's actually doing, and you start to hate him, really. But yeah, overall, I just thought it was a great concept. Really enjoyed it, and I'm looking forward to watching more episodes.
It's very clever. Like I said, my
It is very
favorite,
clever.
the one I suggest you watch next is San Junipero. It's my favorite.
Well, that's in season
episode.
3, so I will get to that. But...
Season 3 is fantastic. Yeah. Fantastic.
Fantastic.
Yeah, it's really good. And all episodes of Black Mirror are available now on Netflix.
Yes.
Fantastic.
Yes, it is.
There
we
you
go. Thank you very much. So that's all you've watched.
That's literally all I've watched this week. I've been quite
house during lockdown. Don't have time to watch TV. Must be very busy in your house during lockdown.
You know, I'm helping the rents out with the garden and jobs around the house, and
he's
been
writing
on
music.
phone calls with friends. To be honest, I'm trying to teach myself how to play guitar properly. Writing some songs.
Yeah, I saw
Yeah.
you
All right, all right. That's enough. We're not that interested. Okay. Do you know what? We're not going to get to the time for the film news about Universal and cinemas,
Well, I've
but
got like
I feel
5
we can
minutes.
talk. I know. Well, I haven't done what I've been watching.
Oh well, no one cares though, do they?
No,
Are
one
you
cares
not
about
interested?
No, not really.
No,
that can be in the
we are.
podcast. The Universal thing is quite important.
Go.
Like,
Just
I-
So you
Honestly,
want to? So you want my reviews in the podcast?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Right. Okay. I see where this is going. Fine. Let's do some film news then, shall we?
It's quite an important
Okay.
story.
It is an important story. I'm just messing with you, but my agent will be on the phone. I'm speed dialing my agent now. Is Colin still there?
Colin Drake.
Okay. Yeah, he
Wow.
is. He takes
I'm still here.
38. He takes 38%. That's normal, isn't it, for an agent?
Yeah, that's.
Isn't that normal?
Yeah, that's completely.
Colin told me it's very normal, and
Yeah,
I have
no.
to
Paying for
buy
my
him.
chicken dinners.
Yeah, I have to buy him chicken dinners and Hawaiian shirts. I'm not sure where it all came from. It was just the small print. There was pages
Yeah.
and pages of it.
Oh wait, I've had a text from Colin. He said,
You're useless.
"Yeah, that's what he said."
Oh, thank you very much.
Yeah. Universal.
Film news. Yeah, this is important film news and sort of game-changing news. Universal have been celebrating the success of Trolls World Tour on premium VOD, with the Wall Street Journal revealing the film had secured more profit via digital release than the original due to the higher revenue split taken from digital sales. So what it's saying is it made them more money over 5 weeks on a digital release than the original Trolls film did throughout its entire theatrical run. Excuse me. NBC Universal CEO Jeff Shell has said in the article, the results for Trolls World Tour have exceeded our expectations and demonstrated the viability of PVOD. As soon as theatres reopen, we expect to release movies on both formats. However, this prompted a sharp response from AMC Theatres, owner of the Odeon chain in the UK, with their CEO Adam Aaron writing a strongly worded letter to Universal. In it, he says, it is disappointing to us, but Jeff's comments as to Universal's unilateral actions and intentions have left us with no choice than to not show their films. Therefore, effective immediately, AMC will no longer play any Universal movie in any of our theatres in the United States, Europe, or the Middle East. This policy affects any and all Universal movies, goes into effect today, and as our theatres reopen, and is not some hollow or ill-considered threat. So, as a standard, and it has.
Oh,
we were doing
we were so close.
You're
well.
kidding me.
We were doing so
close.
well.
Sorry, go again.
Go,
Try
Duncan.
Did I go?
You did.
Yeah,
Come on, we've got
go.
4 minutes. We can do
back.
this.
Got 4 minutes. So yeah, there is what is known as theatrical window. So a film is released theatrically, and there has to be a 2-month window between that and the release on home entertainment. So what Universal are now saying is, we don't want that window anymore. If we want to shrink it or make it disappear altogether.
Yeah.
Which is huge for the cinemas.
It is. It is, but
It is.
I think it sort of leads into the DVD thing. I think for some smaller films, not necessarily James Bond or Marvel films, because they're not doing it with Black Widow. I think for smaller films, we might see more of going straight to streaming sites, and
I think they will, because
VODs.
You're right. The big tentpole films, they're not going to touch, because they're going to want them in the cinemas.
Yeah.
But there are so many films that are released theatrically that make no money theatrically, or they put them out on 300 screens and they take £20,000, and it costs a lot of money to put them out on 200 screens.
Yeah.
That you often think, why are they bothering?
Was it Lady and the Tramp that was straight onto Disney Plus?
That was made for Disney Plus, though.
Was
wasn't made as a theatrical release.
Was it?
Yeah, afraid so.
Was
Yeah,
it?
but this could be huge news, because this does affect Bond. So and now Cineworld have followed suit. So we've got Cineworld and Odeon. Neither of them will play Universal films or MGM. So that's Fast and the Furious franchise, the Bond franchise, and a couple of other big ones as well. And also, but View Cinemas today have said they will still play them. So they are not going to.
Has
ban
Empire
films.
said anything?
Empire hasn't said anything yet.
No.
No, I think Empire said they won't either.
Oh, okay.
And from View's point of view, you can say, well, no one else is showing these films. We're going to clean up.
Yeah. So this would be James Bond, Jurassic World, Fast and Furious, Minions, Sing when that comes out, the next one, and Despicable Me.
Yeah, it's a lot of big films.
Yeah.
I mean, I think the Trolls thing is kind of skewed, because yes, Trolls World Tour did really well on premium VOD at $15.99 a rental, because it's a kids film. There are so many kids trapped in the house, and you're trying to think of something to do with them. And if you've got 2 or 3 kids, paying $15.99 for a film is a lot cheaper than going to the cinema. And it's a brand new film. They can watch it. You got it for 2 days, so they can watch it 6 or 7 times. So you are getting your money's worth. If that was for a normal film aimed at adults, I don't think it would have been successful. And I don't think they would have been talking about shrinking the window. But they're not talking about shrinking the window for every film. It's just selected films. But cinemas are so paranoid about it.
Yeah.
They don't want it being shrunk for anything.
And at the minute, when all the cinemas are shut, it's not really what you want to hear, is it? I can imagine if you're a big boss of, Cineworld, and you go and you hear like a big production company going, "Oh, we might just not put our films out." I can see there's a very knee jerk reaction to it.
It is. So I mean, it'll change and it will develop as the weeks go on. And once cinemas reopen, which may be this year, might be next year, they may change their mind. But it's very, very interesting, because studios have been trying to shrink the window for years now.
Duncan,
and this is the opportunity they probably wanted. But we'll talk about it more next week. But that's it for this week. Thanks very much for listening, and thank you for watching.
Yes.
Been lovely to see you. Thank you, Luke. Thank you, Toby.
Thank
we'll
you.
be back same time next week. But now Colin is up with Chatsworth after the news. But now with the time approaching 8 o'clock, it's time to go over to the Sky Newsroom for the latest national and international news headlines. Goodbye. It worked.
It worked.
It worked.
Everything worked.
We did it.
Woo. Yeah.
Thank you, Internet.
Yes. Only one slight dropout.
Lovely.
Yeah, very good.
Yeah.
That was good. That was good.
Good.
That's good.
It's all good.
It was good.
People were watching us as well.
I know. It's
Slightly
good.
creepy. It's kind of like having a
Weird.
stalker.
Yeah, but we're getting live feedback as well.
I know. Well, I did like that because people were agreeing with me, and I
everyone
loved
stop
that.
doing that, please.
Loved it. Very
Loved
good.
it.
Right, what else should we do?
Well, you wanted to talk to Amy,
I really want to
and
talk to Amy.
I've got her on standby.
Excellent.
So should we talk to her?
Let's go to her.
Duncan, Amy's here. Yay!
Hi, Amy.
Amy's here.
Hi.
Hi, Amy. Don't
How
look,
are you?
Don't look so worried.
Don't look so worried. This doesn't reflect badly on you at all. It just reflects badly on Luke. So,
As always.
firstly, Amy, how are you? I'm very well. Thank you for asking. I just have a question about a post on Facebook that you posted today, 2 hours ago to be precise. I'll just read a bit of it to you. Throwback to when I was able to combine my two loves. Interestingly, not two of my loves. The only two loves that you have. My first ever West End press launch, which means your two loves are photography and musical theatre.
Right.
Which means Luke doesn't make the top two?
It's been so long, I can't remember what he looks like.
Hi, here I am.
Does he make the top five?
Just.
See, I said she would agree with you.
Crikey, you just make the top five.
Yeah.
Excellent. Okay, well that was the only reason we wanted to speak to you, just because.
Amy has a review actually.
Oh, go.
The program you've been watching.
Oh, what? Binge watching Jane the Virgin?
Tell us all about it.
It's on Netflix. It's very good. It's quite long. There's 100 episodes, and I'm on 58.
Wow.
Oh,
So there's a lot of binge watching there. I thought it was just going to be like a lovey-dovey rom-com sitcom thing, but it's actually not. There's lots of twists and turns, and it's quite dark in some of it. It's quite surprising. It's very good.
okay. I've got to admit, never seen an episode of Jane the Virgin.
Hey, would you like to see a clip
No,
of
fine.
it? Do you want to see a clip of it?
Not really.
Hang on, what about there's a clip of it?
Oh yeah, okay, right. Let me just add that to my Netflix list now. Lovely, done, fabulous, got it. Thank you for the recommendation, Amy. Excellent stuff. Oh dear. Okay, well, thank you, Amy. That's all we wanted to speak to you about. But can I also say you've got the nicest room of anybody?
Amy has got a very nice room
on this Zoom call.
Oh, thank you.
And you also seem very high up.
Yeah, no, I'm on my high chest. My laptop's on the top.
Okay, that's all. Okay. I don't think I have any questions for anybody else.
No. Sorry.
No.
I'll
call you afterwards.
All right, goodbye.
You've got some explaining to do, Miss Buckle.
Yeah. Yes, I'll call you later, Amy.
That's all right. He knows his place.
Yeah, no, to be fair, I didn't. Yeah.
Bye.
Amy,
Bye.
everybody.
Bye.
Well, I forgot to ask her.
What?
You only creep in the top five.
Oh, do you
I
wanna
need
what
to
three and
know
four was?
what 3 and 4 are.
What
you've been beaten by.
Food.
I said it'd be food.
Yeah. Raphael from Jane the Virgin, which is him again.
Right. Okay.
I'm sorry. She's actually saying that he's above you.
It gets better. And then Brendan Urie and Ollie Murs.
So you're only number 8.
Yeah, number 8. Yeah.
Crikey.
I know.
I thought you were going to say Rafael Nadal, the tennis player. That's what I thought you were talking about.
Some people like him.
I thought you were going to say the one that's a teenage mutant ninja turtle.
Yeah, that's how low on the list I am. I come on the
Wow.
turtle.
I mean, that's
Right.
just... I mean, that must be disheartening for you, isn't it?
Well, I thought it was true
What?
that I was that low on the list.
Where are you on Clinton's list, Duncan?
I would imagine I'm number 1.
I think you should ask
Well,
him
you
right
hope
now.
you're number 1.
You think I should ask him?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think he's available. Clinton!
Oh,
Oh, he is available. I can
Yeah.
ask him.
He's
live in
not
the same house.
available.
Oh,
should be.
crikey. Okay,
Here we
I
go.
will ask him.
Come
I
on.
can't. Can we hear it though?
Yeah, we'll
Yes,
be
you
able
can,
to.
yeah, you can hear it.
No, but I don't want you lying. So.
I'm not going to lie, because if you can hear it,
Come on,
Okay.
Clinton. Say a
he's
funny...
not coming in.
Oh.
I don't know where he is, but he's not coming in.
Oh.
Oh, no, he's
Right.
coming
Here he
in.
comes.
Oh, okay.
What you want? I just heard.
Fingers crossed. Come
We
on.
just
Here
have
we
a sorry. We have a quick live question for
Come
you.
on.
Okay, so on the show we noticed that Amy put a post up saying that her two loves in life were photography and musical theatre, and we've now found out that Luke is actually only number 8 in her list of loves. He's beaten by food, musical theatre, photography, and 3 people from the TV. So what they now want to know is, where am I on your list?
There you go.
Didn't
You
even
heard
know
it
it.
here
Where am I
first.
on your list?
Number one,
No,
obviously.
three.
Number one.
No, food's your first, love.
Oh, okay, there you go.
That-
Yeah,
that's
food.
true.
Yeah.
No.
There we go. So I am number one on his list.
Disappointing from Clinton. He didn't do something
Oh.
funny.
Sorry.
That's all right.
We've disturbed him. He's watching food porn on his phone.
Okay, fair enough. We got some reviews.
We do have some reviews. Yes, thank you to Pippa. I asked people what they've been binge watching while they were on lockdown.
What you've been
Binge watching.
Thank you. Pippa says on Netflix she watched Unforgotten. She watched all 3 series and it was very good. High production quality, great acting, good plot. She was unable to guess who done it until the very end.
That's what you want, don't you?
That is. You want. Yeah, you don't want to know. You don't want to know what's going to happen.
No.
And I think that was originally on ITV.
What's it
I
called?
think Unforgotten.
Yes.
I think it was on ITV, and it stars Nicola Walker. She says she then watched something else on Netflix which starred Nicola as a priest. It was so bad in comparison, we struggled to finish it. I can't even remember what it was called. So that was
Wow.
good. And also Criminal, 3 episodes on Netflix. 3 criminals in police interviews. Very, very good. Kept us guessing. A weak subplot though. Now I watched the first episode of this, and I'm surprised you haven't watched it. Luke, because it stars your boyfriend David Tennant, and I didn't like it at all.
Oh.
Ooh.
So yeah,
I'm not really a fan of
Police interviews.
police interviews. Yeah, I hate police interviews.
no, that's all it is. It's just a police
Oh.
interview. The whole each episode is a police interview.
Oh yes, it was on. Yes, yeah.
So
no,
is it a bit like Lock? Even though I haven't seen it, but it's where they just stay in one location.
Yes, in the
Yeah.
Okay.
yes.
I really
No.
want to see Lock as well.
not a I didn't even really like what was David and
Goliath.
No, on ITV on the seafront.
Broadchurch.
Thank you. You know, the only reason I watched that was because of David.
Oh, you're sad. That's brilliant. Ridiculous. Anyway,
I need
Pippa
to-
is also watching The Nest on BBC iPlayer. Last episode lined up for tonight. She doesn't say what she thought of it though. But that's only just finished on BBC One on a Sunday night.
What has Tracy been watching?
Tracy Huxley says her husband made it through the whole of Breaking Bad in 4 weeks. Well done.
Wow.
I watched quite a bit. Really clever plotline, lots of twists and turns, and great performances. He's now started on Ozark, which I'm finding a bit tedious. Meanwhile, she's happy that the Great British Sewing Bee is back on. Can I just say to Tracy, Ozark,
Stick with it.
stick with it. Have you watched all of Ozark?
No, because I was watching it with my girlfriend, and so hang on. So we're on season 3's just come out, hasn't it?
Yes.
So we're midway through season 2, and I haven't watched any of it until.
It's very good.
Yeah,
very good.
but-
Season 3. So stick with that, Tracy.
Yeah, stick with it. It will.
Yeah.
The
And-
ball will start to roll.
Yeah, and if you like Breaking Bad and your husband liked Breaking Bad, all of Better Call Saul is on Netflix now, and I got to say, I think it's better than Breaking Bad.
That's a
Oh,
big statement.
It's possibly my favourite TV show of the last 10 years. It is
wow.
close to perfection,
Ooh,
and
didn't hear any
it
of that.
actually finishes.
Oh,
Didn't hear any
Hey,
of that.
Toby's disappeared off the face of the earth.
Oh,
Toby, you currently look like you're modelling for some sort of magazine. You're back. There you go. Well, welcome back. Kind of.
am I moving now?
In stop
Very
motion.
slowly.
Sorry,
Yeah,
I thought
not very well.
Duncan went.
No, I'm fine.
Duncan
Not
said
me
it was
this
his
time.
biggest
Okay.
favourite
Oh, he's
film
back.
of the year.
So anyway, Better Call Saul, I think, is possibly my favourite TV show of the last 10 years. It's been 5 seasons, I think.
Right.
There's one more season to go and it finishes. So the final season should take us up to the start of Breaking Bad. And if they don't muck up the last season, rather like Game of Thrones did,
Yeah.
it will probably be my favourite TV series of all time.
Interesting.
It is, and from your point of view, Luke, I think you'd like it
Interesting.
from a cinematic point of view.
Is that the one? Is it in space? No.
Do you know what Breaking Bad is?
Oh, sorry, Breaking Bad. I thought you were talking about Ozark.
What's that got to do with space?
I don't know. I don't know.
No,
No,
neither of them are in space.
Thank-
Better Call Saul is the prequel to Breaking
Yes.
Bad.
I tried to watch Breaking Bad. Nah.
Right. Well, you don't know. Honestly, you need a slap. If we were in the
Okay.
studio,
It wasn't
I would
long
reach
ago.
across and slap you.
It's fantastic.
I need
It's
to have another
fantastic.
go. It
But
was
Better
long-
Call Saul is even better.
It was when it first came out, so maybe I should watch it again.
You were probably too young.
Exactly. I've matured.
Exactly. Have you though?
Nah.
But what I've been watching,
More
we'll
importantly,
do.
what have you been
We'll do next week because I
Okay.
need to go into quite a bit
Detail.
more detail. So it's Gangs of London on Sky Atlantic.
Hmm.
Have you got Sky Atlantic?
No.
No, sorry.
Okay, because I think, you wouldn't like it, Luke. Toby, I think you would like it. Gareth Evans, who is a Welsh director who lives in the Philippines, made The Raid and The Raid 2, and he's come back to the UK to make Gangs of London. Me and Clinton, there's nothing that I watch that Clinton doesn't watch, really. Halfway through this, Clinton just said, I can't watch this. It's too much. The violence is extreme.
I think I remember you talking about it.
Okay.
Yeah. So there's that to talk about next week. And also Hollywood, the new series from Ryan Murphy, who made Glee, American Horror Story, and American Crime Story, and Pose from last year. Hollywood is a 7-part miniseries on Netflix, and all episodes are on now. But that needs going into a little bit deeper.
Cool.
I mean, you've been on lockdown for 4 weeks, and all you've managed is 4 episodes of Black Mirror. What are you doing?
Don't know. Talking to friends.
That's the problem.
Right, song playing PlayStation. Yeah, still.
Toby has
Another
friends.
bit.
We don't.
I do.
No, to be fair, I'm gonna watch loads this week. So starting tonight.
Again.
All right,
Why are you saying it?
You know what? I'll surprise you next week. How's that?
By saying, do you know what? I've been so busy. I
I
really
wrote a song though.
I really am. But hey, I'll play your song.
Sorry, why does Toby now sound like the comedian that died on stage?
Who's the comedian that died? Tommy Cooper.
Yeah.
He doesn't. No, that's not how he sounded.
That's what you sounded. That's what you made him sound like.
Oh, okay. That was just a.
It's not like this. It's like this.
It was a generic voice I was doing.
Okay.
Anyway.
Anyway.
That's it. Monday
That's
No
it.
Movies, episode 7 or
Whatever. Who cares?
Who
To be
cares?
honest, I mean, it's episode 564. We're in
yeah.
week 600 of lockdown. I've eaten the neighbours. Toby's not watched a film.
And I've had lots of
And
chocolate.
Luke's girlfriend prefers virtually everything to him. So all in all, we've learnt a lot this
We
week.
have learned a lot.
We've learnt a little lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, before we all go mad, let's go.
To finish the show,
Yeah.
let's see if we can actually do a story.
Oh, excellent.
Oh, here we go.
Duncan,
Are we ready?
Duncan starts off.
Yeah. Once
A.
Connor.
time.
There was.
That's 2 words.
Oh, we're just doing one. There.
Yeah.
Was
A.
Small.
porcupine.
Who?
Name. Whose name? Name.
Is
Percy.
Percy.
went
To.
The.
hall
Of.
Mirrors.
to
Take.
A.
massive.
Look.
Nice turn. At.
His
Spikes.
Because.
he
Didn't.
No.
why
He.
Had.
such
A.
Wonderful.
face.
Well, there we go.
Done. We did
Percy
it.
the porcupine went to the Hall of Mirrors to take a look because he didn't know why he had such a wonderful face. Marvellous. There we go. Who needs Tom Hardy telling you kids' stories when you've got us three to do it for you? Thank you very
amazing.
much.
Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant.
Marvellous.
We did it.
Toby, finish us off. Toby, off you go.
Thank you for listening. We'll be back next week.
Oh, well, hang on about watching.
Thank you for listening and watching, both at the same time, and we'll be back next week.
Not everybody was
for
doing
more
it both
of
at the
this.
same time. Some people were listening only. And
You
some
know
people
what?
just
If you were
watching.
watching, great. If you were listening, great. If you're doing both, even better. And we will be back next week. Thank you.
Goodbye.
See ya.
Bit violent.
Oh, dear.
Sounded like a threat.
We will be back next week.
We will be back now. Get out.
Get
Oh
out.
no, stay in.
Stay in.